There's a hidden setting inside your camera's menu that instantly doubles your keeper rate in unpredictable light. That's without compromising your creative control over shutter speed or your depth of field. Most beginners never touch it because they think it's cheating. Well, they're wrong. Hey, my name is Steve, and let's get into it. Let's address the elephant in the room right away. Somewhere early in your photography journey, someone, maybe an online creator or a YouTube video, or perhaps even a photography forum purist, told you that real photographers only shoot in full manual mode. They treated manual mode like a badge of honor, claiming that letting your camera make every single decision for you was a sign of, well, being lazy or an amateur or just plain untrained. That idea is not only outdated, but it's actively holding your photography back. To understand why, we have to look on how ISO really works. Now, back in the days of film, ISO, or back then known as ASA, it was physical. You load a roll of 100 or 800 film into your camera, and your sensor sensitivity to the light was permanently locked in until you finished that roll. But in modern digital cameras, ISO isn't a physical light gatherer. Your aperture and shutter speed are the only two settings that control how much physical light enters through your glass and hits your sensor. ISO is simply a digital signal amplification. It boosts the signal after the light has already entered. Modern sensors are so advanced that boosting this signal automatically inside your camera gives you virtually the exact same image quality as doing it manually yourself, except the camera does it in milliseconds while you focus on framing that shot. Now, here's where most photographers make a massive mistake and start to lose the sharp images. When you shoot in full manual mode without auto ISO, you are balancing a three-legged stool in real time. Every time you step into a shadow or walk under a tree or track a subject moving from daylight into shade, you have to stop, take your eye off that viewfinder, and spin an ISO dial. Now, by the time you've balanced your exposure, the emotion, the action, or the light is gone. Auto ISO completely and fundamentally rewrites this workflow. Think of it like setting a creative parameter. You tell the camera, I care about depth of field, so lock my aperture at f2.8. Then you tell it, I care about freezing motion, so lock my shutter speed at 1/500th of a second. You've locked in the two artistic choices that dictate what your photo actually looks like. The camera then acts as a lightning-fast light meter, automatically raising or lowering your ISO to deliver a clean and properly exposed frame. You control the creativity, and the camera handles the arithmetic. Now I know what you're thinking. Won't auto ISO push my camera to high ISO numbers and flood my photos with terrible digital noise? Here's the truth that every photographer eventually learns. A sharp shot with a little digital noise is a usable, fixable atmospheric photograph. Now, a blurry photo caused by a shutter speed that was too slow because you were afraid to change your ISO, well, that's actually just garbage and trash. You're going to have to get rid of it. You can fix noise in post-processing with a single click. And it's using modern software, of course, but you can never, ever unblur a missed moment. And by the way, I'm curious, drop a comment down below right now. What shooting modes are you currently using most often? Are you full manual, aperture priority, or have you already experimented with auto ISO? Let me know, and let's get back to setting those changes everything. If you simply turn on auto ISO out of the box, the camera will do a decent job, but it doesn't know what you're really shooting. It doesn't know if you're taking a portrait of a statue or a photo of a running dog. That is why there is a single most important feature you need to turn on today, and that is what is known as the ISO minimum shutter speed. In almost every modern mirrorless and DSLR camera menu, deep inside the ISO settings, you will find an option that lets you dictate a floor for your shutter speed. You're setting a rule for the camera's brain. You're telling it, camera, adjust the ISO however you need to, but never let any shutter speed drop below, let's say, 250th of a second. Now consider how powerful this tool is in practice. Imagine you're doing street photography on an overcast day. People are walking fast, light is bouncing off in tall buildings, and You're moving in between sunny street corners and dark alleyways. You set your aperture to f4 for sharp subjects and set your minimum shutter speed to about 100 or 1/500th of a second. Now, as you turn around and snap shots, your shutter speed never drops low enough to produce motion blur on your camera or cause that camera shake as well. Your ISO smoothly floats from 200 up to 6400 seamlessly in the background, and you don't have to touch a thing. You aren't fiddling with controls, you're pure instinct. You're focused on composition, timing, and emotion. That isn't cheating at all. That's using technology to remove friction between your vision and your camera. But before you turn on auto ISO and leave it on forever, there is a catch. There are 3 specific situations where you must turn it off instantly. Now, I want to be completely honest with you. Auto ISO is a powerful tool, but it's not a silver bullet for every shooting style. To be a complete photographer, you need to recognize the exact environments where letting your camera calculate the ISO will actively sabotage your final image. When you're working with off-camera flash or studio strobes, your camera's internal light meter cannot see the light until the flash fires, and that's after you press the shutter button. If you leave your auto ISO on, your camera will look at the dim studio room and think the scene is dark and spike your ISO to, let's say, 12,800. The moment your flash triggers, your image will be completely blown out to pure white. When flashes are involved, manual ISO is mandatory. In this scenario, let's say tripod landscape photography. When your camera is securely locked down on a heavy tripod, shooting a stationary landscape, you don't need a fast shutter speed to freeze motion. Your primary goal here is absolute maximum dynamic range with pristine image quality. You want your camera locked to its native ISO, usually around 100, and you want to let that shutter speed drag as long as necessary to get a perfect exposure. Let's say the third scenario here, which is astrophotography. When you're shooting the night sky, you're deliberately pushing your camera sensor to its absolute limits in extreme darkness. You need precise control over the exact noise threshold of your sensor, so a fixed manual ISO alongside with a wide open aperture is essential. Well, now that you understand how auto ISO works and why it isn't cheating and when to bypass it, it's time to translate this knowledge into muscle memory. Here's your field challenge for your very next photo walk. Take your camera out today and set your shooting mode to Aperture Priority or manual mode and turn on auto ISO. And set your camera's minimum ISO limit to 100 and set your maximum ISO to, let's say, 6400. Next, dive into your menu and lock down the minimum shutter speed of, let's say, about 250th of a second. Go walk through an environment with rapidly changing light, a park mixed with trees and open sunlight, or a busy downtown area. Do not touch that ISO dial once for the entire hour. Focus 100% of your energy on hunting interesting light, finding unique angles, and capturing fleeting moments. You'll notice immediately how much faster you shoot and how many more sharp photos you'll bring home at the end of the day, and how much freer you feel without constantly having to fight your camera settings. Mastering auto ISO gives you the speed of an auto mode with the exact creative control of manual, letting you focus on capturing moments instead of fighting your settings. Now, auto ISO guarantees your photos stay sharp in tricky light, but if you want complete control over your depth of field and background blur, you need to master Aperture Priority next. Click on the video screen right now for more photography tips and gear reviews. This is Steve, and I'll catch you in the next video.